When you see me here, I have made a very bad financial decision, but I am covered because let me take it back to last year, December. We
Yes,
know
sir.
that it is filled with fun moments, where with your family, your friends, and now the decision that you are making are so impulsive to a point that whenever you wake up in the morning, you just regret making that decision by buying that kind of product or the products that you have. But don't worry, guys, we have got you covered right here on the personal finance. Once again, my name is Mukiti Maimane, and I'm joined by the one and only Mr. Osvaldo Nhaca, who is a financial expert. Mr. Osvaldo, we had you yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Good morning once again, and how are you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning. I'm very good. Thank you so much. I enjoyed you guys so much yesterday that I wanted to come back today.
Definitely, man. I'm also enjoying this because I can't just wait to get into the conversation,
Right.
because when we sat down with you yesterday, I saw that there was so much,
Right.
that you were doing, because you are that man who has gone through so many fields, and yesterday you mentioned that you want to teach us, some of the calculations,
Right.
and obviously bringing it to the people who are watching at home.
Yes.
So before we get into the calculation, please give me some background of, your financial aspect in the field.
Okay, so obviously my financial expert is that I've been handling money since I left matric. And throughout the years, it's always been a quest of mine to find out how do I save more, how do I invest money, and also how do I make the right financial decisions. And throughout my financial life, I've made those good decisions, those bad decisions, learned, got burned, and then recently went through specific events that also financially impacted me as well, relationship-wise. And throughout that journey, I've just been headstrong around how much research can I do around money, around finance, and how does it really work? Because remember the story that I told, that I had to leave studying economics, but the hunger to want to know how money works and how the economy works was still there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I hear you, and because when I look at your page in Instagram, and there's some interesting, posts that you have posted here. Let me just go through, two of the posts that people can get hold of right there at home. So the first one says, you posted this on the 9th of Feb 2020, right? Money comes and goes, but the change you bring to someone's life has a compounding effect that continues to make a difference. That is from the one and only Osvaldo Nhaca, who is joining me right here with those profound words. Another one is ability to think and be successful in any measure is not monopolized. Right? Let me repeat that. Ability to think and be successful in any measure is not monopolized. So, from the conversation that we had yesterday about the love that you developed for speaking,
Yes.
how important did you see it that speaking with the public with money can give a significant change in their lives?
Wow, that's a beautiful question. So the change I saw was because I don't come from a good background where money was always available. And when I either drive through, walk through the different societies that I'm in, I see that it's one of the common problems that we all have. And when you look at our history, especially our African history, you see that that's one of the areas that we haven't been able to make the greatest impact in the world. We share that common thing of we are financially behind as a race. And that's one of the things that I saw in society. It's like, wow, what if you could make a difference by studying money, how it works, and finding out how people have handled money throughout. That's where I saw that, okay, this is something that could make a difference, because it's actually tied into psychology. That it's money is not separated from personality, I found. So it's like, oh, this ties back into psychology. It's like, so that tied back into that, yes.
Definitely. Now we are getting deep in the conversation, guys. If you're watching from home, hashtag Vuga Breakfast Show is the hashtag to use to ask the question that you want to ask regarding personal finances and decisions that you have made, based on your financial education that you have had. So, Mr. Osvaldo, I want to ask you this question. So, right now, what type of personal calculation you wanted to demonstrate to us? Let's get deep into that.
Oh yes, so this calculation is something which is called a financial freedom number.
Okay.
So the true definition, if you read through Robert Kiyosaki's books, if you read through Ray Dalio's books, you'd find that the definition of wealth is the ability to wake up and choose to do what you want to do. So it's having enough money where you can decide what you want to do with your time. And once you get that number, it means you can wake up and choose to do the work that you want to do, where you don't have to work and do the things that you don't want to do. And we all have that financial freedom number. And we could even do the practical exercise now. So you've got a calculator somewhere.
Yeah.
So now, suppose you want to live a 20,000 Rand lifestyle.
All right.
And this goes to your expenses, your monthly lifestyle. And you know, okay, 20,000 Rand covers my rent or my bond, covers my car, my insurance, and this lifestyle I'm able to afford. Let's say it's 20,000 Rand. You take that money, multiply it by 12. So the 12 represents the 12 months that there are in a year.
Okay.
So you see that, okay, 20,000 Rand every single month gets me to live that lifestyle. So what number do you have there after 12 months? How much is that?
240,000 rands.
So you would need 240,000 Rand to live every single month. That covers your monthly expenses and your lifestyle. And what would you say is the return rate, whether it's through savings, investments? What percentage do you have the greatest confidence that you know I'm definitely going to get a return on this? What is it? Is it 6%, 8%, 9%? What would you say it is? Where would you say that you know you've got the greatest confidence? If I put my money in here, I'm going to get this return. And what's the percentage that you have? What would you say it is?
6%.
6%.
Yeah.
Okay, so now take that number, then divide that by 6%. And tell me what.
Say 240,000
divide by 6%.
100. It's times 100 divided by 6.
Yeah.
100 then divided by 6. I'm getting 400,000.
No, that's the wrong calculation. So take the 240,000 and just straight divide by 6%. I'm sure the calculator can do that.
Divide by 6 is 4,000.
6%. Does it have a percentage sign?
Oh, the percentage. Divide by 6%, right?
Yes.
It's still giving me 400,000.
Times it by?
Okay, times?
By 100.
By 100. I think this one is giving me...
Let's use my calculator. Okay, so now, you see, we said 240,000, right? Okay. Divided by 6%. Gives me that 4 million.
4 million.
Right.
Okay.
So that means that you would have to have 4 million Rand in an investment that gives you a 6% return that would pay you out 20,000 Rand a month to be able to let you do whatever you want to do for the rest of your life. Now, we all have these different financial freedom numbers. So, for example, if a soccer player was getting paid 60,000 Rand, he would use the same formula and the end number would be different.
Yeah.
So that means the higher the lifestyle you want to live, the more you need in a savings or in investments to be able to give you that financial freedom number. So once I figured that number out, I was like, oh, okay, so my main focus is not income, but building up assets that allow me to live my life in a financial freedom lifestyle. And that then changed the way I saw money and how you want to handle your money or manage your money differently.
Yeah. So how does this calculation, help an individuals in terms of, being informed, make the informed decisions? How does this calculation help an individual to make informed decisions about their personal finance?
So how this helps is that you then get to understand that the higher lifestyle I want to live, the more money I need. So it goes back to the example of if you want to move from an area where your rental is low,
Yeah.
and you want to go live in an area where the rental is very high,
Yeah.
just know that you need more money in your
Yeah.
financial freedom bucket. So that then allows you to say, okay, what's more important for me? Is it to be able to move around, do the things that I love to do, or is it more important for me to go and live that high lifestyle, have that, could I say, maybe the 3-bedroom house, or
Yeah,
maybe the
yeah.
5-bedroom or 10-bedroom house. But to live that lifestyle, you need more money. So that impacts it impacts the actual financial freedom number, because you need more of it to maintain that lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. What I want us to do right now is to take a short break, because when it comes to finance, we get sensitive. Some of us, we are big money spenders. We just want to spend all the way. But let me take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to continue with the discussion right here with Mr. Osvaldo Nhaca, who is a financial expert. I hope you guys right there at home, you are taking notes on how to manage your personal finances, right? The hashtag to use is hashtag Vuga Breakfast Show. Comment down below with the comment with your questions, and then Mr. Osvaldo here is here to answer you. So let us take a short break, and let's get you prepped with your weather forecast. All right, Mzansi, still watching the Vuga Breakfast Show. My name is Mukiti Maimane, and this is your personal finance segment where we speak finance. Today we are joined by a financial expert, Mr. Osvaldo Nhaca. We're still in conversation, and as I have emphasized, do make sure that you comment down below with your questions regarding your personal experience when it comes to your finances. So, Mr. Osvaldo, coming to this question, I mean, what are the common mistakes that you have, came across when speaking to people in terms of managing their finances?
The common mistake is, we go back again to psychology, is when people don't know what they hierarchy of values are. So in simple principles is that we both have different values. We both have these hierarchy of values of what's most important to what's least important. For instance, if you're a father and I'm a single person, if you're a father of maybe 3 or 4 kids, if I come and there's 10,000 rand that gets given to us, you will spend that money differently to how I would spend it. I would perhaps see that, oh, it's 10,000 rand, I'm a single guy, it's almost Friday, I would decide, well, I need to go and have a nice time in a party and I'll have a good social life. Whereas with you, the same 10,000 rand, you would probably think, okay, how do I elevate my family life? How do I improve certain things that would elevate the family life? So sometimes we don't understand that our values is what drives our financial decisions. We make decisions based on what we believe is most valuable at that time. Without understanding that, you could think that you're making financial mistakes, but you're actually not. You're spending according to what you value most with every single transaction. So the number one mistake that I've seen is when people don't understand what their values are and what drives their decisions. That then impacts how they see money.
Yeah. So another question that I want to ask, because, taking from what you have said about how people mismanage their finances, I just want to ask is that what are the assumptions that people have when they come through, this calculation on, this is the amount of money you need to spend on a monthly basis?
Yes.
What assumption do people have?
So the assumption they have is that expenses are more important than savings and investments. We've been taught through budgeting that, okay, the first thing you do when you start your budget is you first put aside where you're going to spend and how much you're going to spend. And then from there, okay, out of what's left, how much are you going to go into savings and investments? But once you understand the power of that calculation and that becomes your main focus, now you start asking yourself, how much can I save and invest? And then what's left, how much can I then spend and take out and pay other people? Yeah.
Yeah. So this calculation, how easily is it accessible, or can anyone go on the internet, search for the calculation on how to, manage their finances in a proper manner? Or it's something that you have, written in your own book, or you have an organization that take people through the teachings and the lessons?
Well, it's easily accessible. It's easily accessible on the internet. You just type in how to calculate my financial freedom number, and it's right there. It'll give you the calculations. But for those who don't find it, it's just simply a formula of lifestyle.
Yeah.
How much do I want to live every single month?
Yeah.
Multiply that by the number of months, which is then 12 months, and then divide by the percentage where I know I'm guaranteed to get an income from. Where I know, in this case, it could be a simple thing like a savings account. Savings account, you're guaranteed.
Yeah.
If I put in 100,000 in any bank, they are guaranteed to give me that return every single month. And that's where you'll be able to then calculate that. When, in terms of, from a professional point of view, what I then do is I run one-on-one consultations where the first thing we then do is, again, determine what are your values, where is it that you want to go, what do you value most? And the first step we then look at is, where currently are you financially? Are you do you have more debt than assets? Where are you currently now? So that's what I do on a one-on-one basis, where we actually go in and delve deep and say, okay, where are you personally? Let's delve in. Do you have more assets than liabilities, or do you have more liabilities than assets? Then we do the calculation, and then we say, okay, let's then use the same calculation to find out what your financial freedom number is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are there any limitations or potential biases when it comes to these calculations?
No, there isn't. And the funny thing is that because it's a science, it's a mathematical number, it doesn't matter where you are or where you live. It's sort of like, again, it goes back to a person who lives a lower lifestyle can get there quicker than someone who lives a higher lifestyle, because the money that is needed, again, is higher on the person that lives a higher lifestyle than someone who's on a lower, who needs less. It's the same concept of, if I drive a Golf 7 and you drive, let's say, a Toyota or Corolla that is easily sustainable, who's paying more at the end of the month? I'm paying more to get to my destination than you are. So there's no limitation to that number of who it is. But what I love about that number is that it teaches you that the higher your lifestyle, the more money you need to sustain that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we don't get taught in school. We taught make as much money as possible, but you don't get taught how do you maintain that lifestyle through savings and investments.
Yeah, because those are the common mistakes that you find, especially because I want to touch based on the psychology of money. We know that we live in the township. When people see the lifestyle out there, they want to apply it right here in the township, because it's based on class, bringing class to where you are. So can you please walk me through, man, the psychology of money in general, and how does it affect one personal financial decision?
Well, it affects everything. So the number one thing to understand about money and psychology is based upon personal value. If you look at someone who values themselves and someone who values what they bring to the marketplace, that person is more likely to get an income and keep that money. Whereas someone who doesn't value themselves and doesn't see how they provide economically to society, that person would tend to spend more money, because what they're doing is they're saying, I value myself through this brand. This is how I relate through this brand. So I build other people's brands instead of building my own brand. When you build your own brand, that says, okay, I've got value. So therefore, you need less of an outside incentive to build that. And you touched on that lifestyle where you see people from lower neighborhoods wanting to live that
Yeah.
higher neighborhood.
Yeah.
But the thing is, imagine if you could do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the key. And that's the thing, is being able to do what you want to do. If I'm living a 10,000 Rand lifestyle,
Yeah.
I would need only 2 million to be financially free. That means I'll have money coming in every single month that allows me to do what I want to do with my time. And
Yeah.
that's the key thing. And I believe that that's more important than driving the latest car. Because I can drive the latest car, but I'm still forced Monday to Friday to go and do something that I might not want to do. Yeah, so I think it's about valuing things and seeing what the true value of things are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we talk about financial education, because it is a subject that is sensitive for most of the people, so does it have, limitations? Because with your story from matric to studying economics, is it something that is ongoing, or there's education that you can get for a certain time and apply it for the rest of your life, or financial education goes in until you live up to whatever age that you get to?
It's continuous. It's an ongoing thing, and that's the beauty about it. Because throughout your life, you have different changes. You go from being single to now handling a household to now, okay, now you've got kids. Now, how do you handle finances when you got kids, and how do you handle finances when you want to pay that lobola now?
Yeah.
Now that lobola is then the extra cost. So it's an ongoing journey. There's no start. You don't have to start at a certain age and end at a specific place. And
Yeah.
the beauty about it is that the more you learn about investing and savings, the more that also feeds into how you build your business life. Because now you're learning, okay, investments, how do they work?
Yeah.
It's about putting money into something that in the future will give you a return.
Yeah.
Then, okay, how do you value something that will give you a return? You need to look at how a business operates. Okay, how is this business operating? Does it have people in there that are taking advantage of the assets in place that will give me a greater return in the future?
Yeah.
Now your financial education now is starting to grow. Now you're seeing, okay, how do businesses function? How does the psychology of a business function?
Yeah.
How are the leaders in the business leading that business? So that's how you grow with it. It's a lifelong journey. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely interesting, man. I'm getting broody right here over the financial segment with Osvaldo. And as I have said and as I have emphasized, do make sure that you post and you write your comment down below using the hashtag Vuga Breakfast Show. So before we conclude, one last question. Key indicators and key factors that people need to focus on. What are those things that, when somebody is getting into the financial world and now they start getting a job, start to earn a salary, what are the most key important factors that they need to focus on?
Okay, the key factor to focus on is your savings. The first thing you need to focus on is your savings. One of the things that you can do is calculate how much am I making every single month. If you're making 10,000, 12,000, or 20,000, take that number, multiply that by 3. That means you'll have 3 months worth of living expenses should anything happen with you and the job. So that means you've got 3 months to get back on your feet just in case. So the first goal is to have ×3 in your savings account. Let that just be there and don't use that. That's the first thing that you need to do, is understand, okay, this is for that in case anything happens. So the moment you have the 3 months saved up and it's in there, then you can start learning more about different ways of investing and different ways of savings.
Yeah.
And then the second most critical thing that I would say is determine your values. Know what you value most and why you're making the decisions that you're making. One of the great websites that you can go on to help you really determine your values, it's called drdimartini.com. In there you get a free complimentary site where you can actually go in, a set of 13 questions where it helps you to determine what your values are. You will actually get to see, okay, this is why I make certain decisions that I make. When I get 10,000 Rand, this is exactly how I'm going to spend my money.
Yeah.
And on that value list, you'll actually see where money is in terms of where you value money. Because sometimes we have this misperception that I value money up there. Whereas when you do that value determination, you'll find that you value money is probably fourth or fifth, and that's why you spend it more than retain it, because it's a value-based decision. You value spending the money because grooving is nice on a Friday, more than the patience of that savings and investment. So that's where you're like, oh, this is where money is on my value list. And that's why I'm making these financial decisions that impact that money.
Powerful, Mr. Osvaldo. So right now, I just want to ask this last question. On my financial planning, as a financial expert, can you please advise me? Can I use or put girlfriend allowance in my financial plan?
If you value your girlfriend, yes. If she's something that you value, then you'll put it there as girlfriend allowance.
Yeah. Definitely. I hope you guys are still in conversation with us. Right now, what I want to do is to include Musi in this conversation, just to go and get through on how he's feeling, because I am feeling amped up with the education that I have got right here. Financially, I am well equipped. So budget, saving, investing, expect me anytime. Musi, take me through, man. Like
so much to explore more. And like I said yesterday when when we were talking and hanging out with Osvaldo, is that we never have enough time to explore all these very essential topics and discussions that can teach us, not only us, but everyone who's watching and listening right there at home. So Osvaldo, I have something here, because we, on a week-to-week basis, on a Tuesday, we always talk all things personal finance, right? And it says here, personal finance refers to things like mortgages and investments and all these other things. Would you, as someone who's well versed in the space of financial literacy and personal financial literacy, is that how you would characterize it or define it, as a thing that covers managing your money well, saving and investing, and it says it encompasses budgeting, banking, investment and retirement plans, and all of those things? Is that how you would explain it to someone at a very low level, someone who's never heard of financial literacy and is not knowledgeable about the topic of financial literacy?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
You hit it right on the nail.
Yes, sir.
And also tell them that it's a crucial skill. I mean, like, we're told that swimming is a crucial skill, but how many of us have swam today?
I mean, I'm one of those people who can't swim myself.
You're right.
Yes, sir.
But you handled money today. Right?
Yeah.
You're more likely to handle money than go out swimming. So I think it must be categorized as a survival skill. It must be higher than swimming.
I love that. But here's another thing that now, as you're saying that, is that, because what I was getting from the conversation that you were having with Mo is it also speaks to prioritizing, right? And you spoke about value. And as individuals in society and in the workforce, we value different things. But how do you teach one then to know what is more valuable? And is there perhaps maybe, even before we get to what is more valuable, is there maybe a benchmark and a standardized thing that we can approach as individuals in the society, saying that these are the things that we should value with regards to our personal finances, and this is how you can try to apply them moving forward as an individual in the workforce?
Everyone has a different financial journey.
Okay.
My financial journey is not the same as yours.
Yes, sir.
These different values is what brings society together. But at common, we all want money to do the things that we value most.
Yes, sir.
So if we learn how, first of all, okay, what's most valuable to me? So for instance, in the same case, if he's a father of 3 kids, or maybe he's got a girlfriend.
Yes.
So let's just bring it down to a normal social level.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Suppose you're a female, right? And
yeah.
Females say that money is the universal language of love.
Yes.
Who would you rather want to be with? Right, someone who makes good financial decisions, or someone who makes bad financial decisions?
Good financial decisions. Yes.
Good financial decisions.
Yes, sir.
So, if you're a female who values that, in society, she's going to look for a person that is handling money in that way. And if we go to him and he values his girlfriend, he's going to want to be financially secure. So that value drive is, okay, how do we then inspire him to be more financially, savvy? Then, okay, we've got his driving force, is his girlfriend. Then I come in and ask him, okay, what would happen if he became more financially successful? He would get to keep his girlfriend for longer because she's got the time limit.
Yes.
So now we've driven up the need for him to be financially competent, to learn more about finances. Because now the question is, okay, what if she says your 10,000 is not enough?
Enough, yes.
How do we get you to 20,000? It's like, okay, because I want to get to 20,000 because she wants that house, she wants that good thing. Now he needs to learn different skills to handle finances because that's his value drive. And your value drive could be different.
Different from his,
That's why I say that it's important for you to understand your value drives and then make that part of that big financial goal. Tie that into your financial goal of, okay, if I make more money, how does it drive these values of mine?
I love it. Mo, we can never finish. We can never finish. And like I said at the beginning when Osvaldo got here, is that these are some of the things that I personally feel more should be taught from a very early age, from an ECD level. And, value again comes to mind in that from an early age, our education system values teaching us very, I wouldn't say necessarily useful things, but things that do not tie into our adulthood as we are adults in the society, But it's unfortunate, but we can never finish. In closing, man, we were joined by Osvaldo, hanging out with Moketi and getting into all things personal finance and trying to equip us with the necessary information and knowledge with regards to our financial literacy and financial education. In closing, Mo, do you have anything?
Yeah, of course, man. You know that when it comes to closing, we have our culture of playing games.
Oh, yes.
Right here, of course, right? So we want to test our financial expert.
Yes.
Right here. So I have a question. It implies to all of us, right? So this is what we call, what do you put in a basket, right? We have 350 each of us.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with you. You have 350. What 5 items are you going to put in that basket?
Your grocery basket.
Grocery basket.
Yes, sir.
I'm at a grocery shop.
Grocery shop. You have 350 rands.
What am I going to put in?
I mean, I think it also speaks to value, right? Because when we walk into a shop, we value different things. Yeah.
Yo, I'm not an expert at grocery shopping. That's the problem.
But let's try to bring it and close it off.
There, right? I would probably put milk.
Okay.
I put breakfast things. So I put breakfast things there. 3 items, ne?
5.
5 items.
5
350.
350.
Okay, bread, milk, peanut butter. I'm trying to think. Okay, how much is what and what?
Yeah.
I'll probably put bread, milk. Probably put tea in there. Then, I'd make sure there's toothpaste and a toothbrush. Yes. Yeah, those things.
Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Yeah.
Well, Musi.
Look, man, TC always says when I answer questions like this, I always try to be as diplomatic as I can be.
Yeah.
But I feel like 350 is not enough, obviously. Yeah. But if I was to bring it down, it goes to what you were talking about, Osvaldo, is that priority and valuing, right? The things that you value. I would probably not slot in the toothpaste and the toothbrush because that's probably something I already have at home. And what I usually do is when I go grocery buying, I buy those in bulk, or I buy more of those things and have them sitting somewhere. So I would go bread. I would go, I'm not a tea drinker or coffee drinker, so I would go bread. I would go eggs. I would go oil. I would go... Okay, I can't think of the rest of the two, man. Yeah. But yeah, Mo, those are some of the things, man. So I think that it's a very cool question. It's a game, yes, but it speaks to the things that we prioritize and value as individuals. Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely, because prioritizing, as you mentioned, spoke about value, that comes with you spending the money on the things that you need, right? But yeah, that's where the conversation ends here on Vuga Breakfast Show. This was our financial segment that speaks with how you deal with your personal finance. So before I let you go, where can people find you on your social media platforms?
Oh yeah, so the nice thing about having a difficult name is that it's also easy to find. So once you just type in Osvaldo Nhaca on the Google search, you'll be able to find me. And it'll give you links to Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube as well, all of the stuff that's on the internet. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we're hoping to see you and bring more some financial experts, because we definitely need them right here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
That
so
was
much.
Osvaldo Nhaca right here on the Vuga Breakfast Show. We still have more guests lined up for you. So what we're going to do right now is to take a short break and